some sense. Well, yeah, hi everyone. My name is Lou. On the internet, I'm often known as Toad Pond. Please reach out to me after this. And I work at a company called TLDraw. But what I want to talk to you today is like this is the name of the talk. Okay, this is the name of the talk. Beyond Chat. Bringing models to the canvas. And when I say models, yeah, I'm talking about AI models. Has anyone here heard of AI? Right, okay. Good. Someone out there hasn't, and they're gonna be like, what the hell is going on here today? But okay, really what I want to talk to you about, is the canvas, is this. So but first, oh wow, this screen really makes it dark when it does that. Wait. Oh wow. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. But hey, yeah. To explain this, I want to go 44 years ago, and I will just put on my timer to make sure I don't like drone on for too long. Right, 44 years ago. Do you remember? Let me refresh your memory. All right. So this was the most popular computer 44 years ago, right? And you may notice some things about it. The main thing is the way you use it, well, because bright, dark, right? The way you use it is by typing into it, right? You type into this little chat box, right? So what you do is you type your instructions and it sends you some things back. And then you type some more instructions and it sends some more things back. And what you basically did back then was you actually had a chat with your computer, right? In a way, right? You ask it a question like 3 out of 2, and it gives you the answer. And you give it another message, and then it gives you another answer, right? Right? You know, like we didn't have the things we have now back then. Right? Do you know what this is? Do you know what that is? Yeah? It's a mouse. Yes. And do you know what this is? It's really hard to see, but that is a cursor. Yeah, that's a cursor. It was pointing at parts of the screen. And do you know what these are? Do you know what these are? Have a look. These are overlapping windows. Yeah, not just normal windows, but look, they're overlapping a little bit, right? And the funny thing is, someone had to invent that, right? Like this was the original paper where they like defined what a window is, right? And like we take that for granted now. But yeah, it was only many years later that this actually turned into the norm, right? Before then, it was just this like made up piece of research, but it was this Macintosh in 1984 that brought it to the mass market. And it like changed computing forever, right? Forever. They even named an operating system after it, right? Windows is called Windows because it has windows, right? Because it was this new, fancy, exciting idea, right? So can you see what's happened here? I promise this is about AI in the end, right? Can you see what's happened here? We started with text and we moved to this canvas that you can point around with arrows, right? Come on in, perfect time. Hey, do you know what this is? You know what this is, right? This is a phone, like a mobile phone. Yeah, and I had one of these. This was in 2000. And you know the way you use it, it's kind of like a command line, like a terminal. You press up, and then you press enter on the thing that you want to do. And it's basically this like little tiny chat box where you type in texts and then you send the text to someone else, and that's what we call a text, right? The clue's in the name. And you know what happens if you like if you think that this is going to be the paradigm forever and ever and ever? You like optimize for chat and for text. Of course, we know that's not what happened, right? You know, there was this famous talk from Steve Jobs, it's always Apple for some reason, you know, saying, you know, the main problem with phones is not the top bit, it's this bit. You know, we're optimized for text. And Apple presented this different idea of instead using the screen, the canvas. And you don't point with an arrow, or you point with your finger, but it's still, we're still pointing. You're following, right? Right? Okay, so you see what's happened here. You know, mobile phones started with text and they moved to the canvas, right? Who knows what this is? Right. This is AI, right? And we're in this current era of chat, right? We, just like those old computers, we have this little chat box at the bottom and we type in our instruction, right? And we get things back. They all do it, right? Claude does it. Actually, was that Claude? No, that's ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. They all do the exact same thing. You know, sometimes there's something a little bit that there's some little feature that escapes chat, like Claude artifacts, but it's still kind of like you're still stuck with this chat interface here. You know, like sometimes, yeah, you can upload an image to ChatGPT, but it's like, it's so small, right? It's so small. It's like this third-class citizen, right? You can't interact with it. You can't point at it. It's just this tiny little thing. You're like, you have to be really wordy. It's like, hey, you see that shape second from the left in the middle row, not including the slightly misaligned one. Wasn't, you know, like, come on, just point. Anyway, sorry, just ranting again. Okay, so this is what happens nowadays. Just to recap. When we interact with an AI, when we use an AI product, we ask it a question, we get something back, and we say send it another message, and then we get something back, and then we send it another message, and then we get something back. And you have you have to fact check the answers. So make sure you Google the real answer to that one. Anyway, stupid. Right. So. So this is what's happening, right? We're in this, there's this paradigm of text. There's this paradigm of text. We have text. And then, well, actually, we're still in the text era, right? We're still in the text time. We haven't moved to the canvas time yet. And can we go beyond chat in AI? I don't know, right? Well, luckily, I work at TLDraw. And yeah, we build, I'll show you in a second, like we build Canvas, a Canvas SDK, a Canvas library for other people to build their own Canvas products and whiteboard products. So we have to solve lots of problems around using a canvas, making it fast enough, making it work multiplayer. And of course, you know, one of those things we're now asking, we're trying to figure out is how does this work with AI models? And I think this is at the point where I'm going to ask Hugh to come and hold this. Yeah? So, yeah. You just stand there, perfect. Wonderful, isn't he good? All right, a round of applause for Hugh. Okay, so yeah, like, am I close enough? You can, yeah, okay, excellent. So, you swap hands if you need. Yeah. Or just set up a rotor. Okay, I need to keep going. Right. So what I'm going to show you now is like this flurry of demos and experiments that we've been working on. Some of them may work, some of them may not, but I think either way it should be interesting. So yeah, like TLDraw is this canvas library. We have all the things like you'd expect, like arrows, like, let me show you this. It has this like really like gloopy, can you see that? Can you see how gloopy that is? Right, and obviously like everything, you can interact with everything, and it works really nicely. Do you see like the heart? Do you see how the dashes like just stay lined up with where the? Can you see that? Yeah. And if I rotate, you probably can't see. Can you see that my cursor is rotating too? And like the shadow is counter-rotating, so it's always the sun anyway. So and let me show you this, right? Like the arrows can get really curvy, and if I rotate this, then it like hugs it at the right place. Oh yeah, do you see that? Anyway, yeah, so I could keep going. So the other thing is that you need to know for this next thing I'm going to show you is that the canvas is made out of web stuff, right? So everything on the canvas is not, it's not like a custom renderer. Like I could actually open up my little console and say like this is like, I don't know, this is a link, that's like an H2, that's a paragraph, that's a span, you know, etc. So you can like put things like YouTube elements in here, and it all works as well, like blah, 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 blah. This is important, I promise. I better pause that, right? Because, okay, yeah, so on the 14th of March, 2023, like the vision models were kind of available to try for the first time, right? And OpenAI put out this specific example where they had this little this little like crappy drawing of a website. They gave it to an image model, and it produced this crappy website, right? Just from the photo. So there was some people in the community and also us in-house who experimented with this idea. Well, I can draw like a little app. I can draw a little app on TLDraw. I can even do like motion lines. You know, I can do these motion lines, you know, to show it's not part of the app. It's showing how they should behave. So now, thank you. Now let's see, right? If I select this and then hit, do you see that button at the top? It says make real, right? And what this has done is it's taken a screenshot of all of this and sent it off to and sent it off to, well, the top one is going to OpenAI, the bottom one is going to Anthropic, and it may or may not work. Let's see, right? Okay, right, okay, wonderful. OpenAI's got it, okay, it's slightly different layout here, that's cool. All right, and it's, whoa, I find that Claude embellishes it a bit more, you know, hover to bounce. I think I prefer that one, if I'm completely honest, right? And the fun thing about this is that, you know, once you've sent something to one of these models, it's not just going to send it back to you and then that's the end, right? We actually have this kind of feedback loop going on. And let me show you. So here's like one of the earliest examples we tried, right? What we've got is just like a little, I don't know, review box or something like that. And we'll see when is it going to work? Ah, interesting. Claude really likes to embellish things, but I like it. And we have a ChatGPT one. Okay, so it looks like it's done it correctly. Can you see the problem? Can you see the problem? Look, can you see the problem? Right, you see where the button is on my drawing? On the right, but it's done it on the left. And I cherry pick this because it nearly always gets it wrong. So like this button right here, you know, that's supposed to be there. So what I can kind of do is say like, yeah, move this, please. You know, and we'll see if this works, right? Because this is all like web stuff, I can just draw on top of it, you know? Like, or I can draw on top of it, I can put things behind it. It doesn't matter, I can like annotate it however I want. And we'll see if this works. No, it's failed, right? So what I find is a bit of, and I'm gonna draw like a little, like something like this. Right, like that. Yeah? Okay, now let's try. So I'm going to select that and make sure I select, I'll select all of that and select all of that and make real. I'm going to hit it like a few times and we can just see like what the win rate is essentially, right? Okay, so let's see. We've got 2 fails already. We already knew about those. Okay, we've got this one moved to the right side. OpenAI is looking like the winner so far, yeah. Okay, so you see Claude goes with a bit more like creative liberty. But I find that OpenAI is sometimes like more like, you know, by the books. Anyway, so that's just my advice. The other thing that we realized very quickly is that you don't just have to draw it once, right? You could actually draw it multiple times in different ways, you know, something that you'd like give to a designer or something like that, right? And we'll see how this works too, right? We've got this gallery being drawn with some just like, I don't know, imaginary placeholder images. And let's see if I can actually, okay, so we've got breakpoints, right, as well. So someone's just going like, okay. The crazy thing is that actually you don't need to draw any UI at all, right? Has anyone here drawn a state chart when they want to figure out how something works, right? So what happens if I give it that? What happens, you know, how will it be different if I just give it the UI? Or what happens if I just say stopwatch, right? We're going to get completely different things based on like the fidelity of whatever we give it. So this is a UI that's been imagined just from a state chart, right? And what we're going to get here is actually we have like we have something that's maybe following the UI more. But actually, I find that this is using the new Claude, right? The 3.7 one. It's going a little bit wild, which is quite interesting. The OpenAI stuck to the UI a lot more there. But let's see what happens, right? So this stopwatch is counting up because I haven't specified like the behavior I want. But in this one, let's see if this one is counting down because it's listened to my state chart, right? And this one down here is just like a random stopwatch. It could do whatever it wants, right? And I actually kind of like it. Right. And let's keep racing on. Like let's just try a couple crazy ones. Like there's no way that works. There's no way that works. Okay, let's see. Can it make TLDraw in TLDraw? And let's just like throw in a game as well. Why not? Okay. Right. Let's see. Oh, I actually I kind of like that one. Right. I kind of like that one. Let's give it a try when it's finished writing all the code for it in the background. Okay. So let's see. I've got my color picker. I can go between any of these. And does it copy to the clipboard? All right, there we go. There's my color. Right. Let's see. Okay. There's no way that worked. Right. I'm going to try both of these actually. All right. Let's see. Yeah. And all right. I like it. Let's try this one. Yeah. So I think that one's using Three.js and the other one's using CSS transformations. Okay. Let's see. Did it make TLDraw? Let's see. Pick a color. Draw. So I'll be looking for a job soon. And let's see. We've got a little game here. Oh, nice. All right. So the gameplay could use some work, but it's a good start. So here's one I made earlier today. I want to show you that you can actually do these things for quite a long time if you stick with this feedback loop. So I gave it this, and what it made was this. And I think if I make a camera, okay, it's not managing to get my camera there. Interesting. I wonder if it's like, is there another camera connected to this?
Not to your machine.
Fair enough.
Leo's shaking his head.
Right.
That's a no from Leo.
That's a no from Leo. So, all right, but I want to show you anyway, right? Like, okay, so I also said actually add to these little like gallery photos to the bottom, and interesting, yeah. So it's snapping something, right? And I went on this whole I got a bit carried away, right? And what I'm going to do is after the talk, when we're having a drinks break, come on and we'll try this out and we'll see if we can just basically tell it to fix it. All right. Anyway, so this is called Make Real. This was this experiment that sort of went crazy and viral on the internet back when vision models came out. You can use it at makereal.tldraw.com. And we experimented with lots of different ways of putting AI on the canvas. So this one is called Draw Fast, because you can draw fast, and what's happening is that we're using this real-time image model to like create this an image in real time. This is sped up like by 1.5 times. Other than that, it's all happening like as you do it. And what you can actually do is because it's happening that fast, you have this like canvas to interact with things. You can move things around as if you're like dragging parts of the image. Right? I think it's so depressing, right? Okay, here's another example. Like a fish that I'm just dragging up and down, drag the water, and this fish is made up of different parts. So like I can like, I don't know, drag the tail smaller. I think this is way better than just typing out a prompt and using like a chat box, right? And because, in TLDraw you can put anything on the canvas, we just like wired up like a camera feed and yeah, we have a lot of fun in the office. And I'm looking at my time as well. Here's the problem. Like so far, we're basically taking. I can have this for a second. I can. Ooh. So what we're doing is we're taking the contents of the canvas, sending them to this model, and it gives us back this artifact, right? But each time we need to send something from like we have to be the human, in the middle, making this bit happen, right? But what if we could get the model to like create more canvas, right? And make this kind of feedback loop. And that's what I'm going to show you next. This is the next one, right? So we've been working on this experiment called Teach. And what we're trying to do is to teach the model how to play TLDraw. So here I've got like this prompt shape, and I've typed in draw a snowman, and it's going to do its best to draw a snowman. And this is all using TLDraw shapes. This is not image generation, This is like interactable. And okay, that's very pretty. I can also modify what's already there. So I've said to make it melt because I'm just hoping that Spring will hurry the fuck up. And And it's going to look at the shapes that are already there. It's going to take a screenshot and it's going to modify them. And our poor little snowman is getting a bit droopy. Oh, yes, it's slightly minor. Oh, and oh no. Okay, and it's sunny. So of course, I think you can have a lot of fun with this. You can try to get it to draw stuff, and of course, it's better at some things than others. I would say I quite like its pigs. I find its face is a little bit scary. It's very good at structured things like castles. Yeah, and I quite like these robots too. It's been interesting to see how it gets on, but of course, I don't think that's the main use case that people get out of this sort of thing. Like we've had lots of customers come to us who are working in ed tech, who want to be able to like auto-generate like learning materials or diagrams, or just, I don't know, when you're trying to quickly brainstorm things. And of course, this is fully interactable. It's plugging in these arrows even when I'm editing the board. Let's see if it can make an imaginary retro board for a meeting. Let's give it a go. I think everyone does retros a little bit different. Okay, that looks pretty familiar. Oh, and it's even made up some like imaginary drama for the team. Too many meetings and okay. The interesting thing is, you remember the first thing I showed you? We're taking a wireframe and turning it into a website. I think we realized that actually with this, you can do the reverse, right? You can take a screenshot of a website and then turn it into a wireframe. It's quite conservative about like the text size. It tries really hard not to overlap anything. But like, hey, here we go. We've got like a sort of mock Twitter /X. Oh, interesting. It's even. Oh my God! Do you see that? It's seeing there's an image in this tweet, and it's trying to recreate the image there as well. That's pretty good. Okay. I'm gonna skip forward a little bit. So the way this is working under the hood, it's using this like middleman format, which is we call an AI-driven format. We're trying to get this Venn diagram of like what these models want to do and what they're good at. Sometimes that overlaps, sometimes it doesn't, and we try to like steer them together essentially. And I think internally we've called this easy, but we've since released this AI module to let other people try and play with this kind of format as well. Beautiful, easy. So I would just say, I'm just going fully into a new tab here. We have this repo called, it's our AI module, github.com/TLDraw/AI, and we're basically putting out this challenge for people to do better than our version. Essentially, our version it's got so far, but we think that other people out there will be okay. Lovely bushes will be able to do better. There's another problem, and I want to race through. I want to show you one more thing, right? So far, we're still doing this, right? We're still sending a request to the model and then getting back one response. Actually, that's not how most of us build AI tools, right? That's not how things work. It works a bit more like this nowadays, right? You have a request that then goes through another step, you get another request, another request, another request, and then sometimes you have a bit of this, right, as well, like, and then your agents, okay. So we made this thing called TLDraw Computer, and I want to show you. This is the final thing I want to show you. This is, I think, the maddest one, the most exciting. So thank you, Hugh. Yeah. So what we've got here is we've got these components. These are custom shapes. So yeah, you can add custom shapes to TLDraw. We've also got a bit of custom UI. I won't get into the detail there, but we've got these custom shapes, and you can connect them together, or with this little like bit here, right? This pokey bit. And if you hit the run button, it sends through the data, and you can like combine different bits of data together like this. And they sort of combine, but this is just data, right? It's much more interesting if we like add this instruction, which I don't know, like let's say like increase by 1, right? And then if I have a 0 here, and I plug it in there, we're going to start making a little computer, right? And this instruction, is like a function, except it's not being run by code; it's being run by AI, right? And I could say all sorts. I could say like increase by 3, and let's see if it can add to 0. But the fun thing is when you do that thing I said just a moment ago, where you like make a bit of a loop, and if I now run this, it will just go. It will just go, yeah, forever, right? And use up all of my credits. So I'm gonna very, very quickly get a button and stop that. And instead of going on forever, it's just going to be whenever I hit this button, it's going to increase it by 1. Boom. Okay, so I'm starting to make a little tool. Like I said, you can change this to anything. Like you can use natural language, right? Because we're using an AI model, and I didn't need to. Okay, great. I didn't even need to tell it what a dozen meant. It's given me a little bit of comments as well there, right? Let's see if it can do it again. I wonder what it will do this time. Ah, interesting. It's stuck on that. I'm just gonna go in and edit this, right? Say 18. I mean, what I can also do is give it something even more sloppy, right? Like if I say like increase by loads, then what's gonna happen, right? Okay, great. It's just added 1,000. Whatever, you know. I think the more interesting things happen when you combine different inputs together. So I've got 2 inputs going into this instruction, right? And it's going to add them together. And you know, like you can try to give it looser data. And okay, in this case, it worked. But I think we can go even looser, right? So what I have here is a picture of a drawing of an octopus that I've drawn. And so it might not be clearly an octopus. No, it is. It is clear, because I was going to say if it didn't work, it's my fault. But I think actually the more fun thing you can do is just now the camera's working. I want to make sure the octopus is not in the camera though. Oh no, that went the wrong way. Just delete it. Right. Okay. I'm going to hold this up to me, and I'm going to see if it can like understand. I'm trying to say 2. I'm trying to say 2 to you. Great. Okay. All right. Fantastic. And let me see. I've got a couple here that I wanted to show you. So yeah, this is my recipe maker, my recipe designer when I'm looking for more ideas. I've said, hey, I have chocolate and dry ice, because who doesn't have dry ice in their cupboard, and it's given me this idea. But I recently am trying to go more vegan, so I want to see actually what can I. Yeah, vegan dry ice. Any ideas for foods? Yeah, you're not helping my vegan practices. I would say no. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, right? I don't know. Dry ice cheese plunge, right? And let's see. It hasn't really taken on the vegan idea.
Let's make it vegan.
Yeah. And what we're gonna do is get a. These AI models, they really try hard not to kill you. So it has said a warning: do not consume, which is, I believe, why that image is there. Like I said before, you can try stuff with apples too. I'm just toxic waste, whatever. Let's see if that works. Let's see what happens. It's very interesting, like combining together these things which are not supposed to be combined. Okay. Radioactive apple cheese bites. Right, prepare, infused with toxicity, serve. Right, this is, yes, disclaimer, this is a humorous commentary on processed foods. Here it is, right, lovely. So I mean, I assume that's vegan. I'm not, it just seems to be like not taking me seriously at all, though. That's fine. Okay, and so I have this, which I'm remember what I said earlier, right? You can create these loops. So what we have here is this task at the top. It says, create the name of a random pop song. Don't repeat any results. And we have this list which is populating here with all its, it's just added Uptown Funk with all of its previous results. It's then asking them, is this song about love? And then it's, splitting them up into yes, no, and maybe, because sometimes the world is wishy-washy, and it's collecting up these different results here. And if I leave this like running overnight, which I have done, would not advise, it will then I'll wake up with like this list of songs about love, songs not about love, and songs maybe about love. And this will go on forever. And we're currently looking at ways of like letting you deploy one of these and just like let it process in the background of your life. What could possibly go wrong? And I've seen people go like really, really far with these things. So this is what I call my AI slop generator. Right, this is for inventing new product ideas. So I've made shades for cats, which is like a little bit like, I don't know, internet humor of like when I was a kid, right? So can I imagine you're on Dragon's Den, right? Can I get any ideas for like new products? So what is going to be the new product? I'm going to ask you to shout something out in 3 seconds, right? 3, 2, 1. Elevators with no floors. Right, and let's see it. We can see it's all whooshing around now. So what it's done here is it's brainstormed 5 names for this. It's not just going for one. We've got multiple steps. It's brainstormed 5 of them. It's going to pick the best. It's like workshopped and then reviewed, and it's actually written a pitch for me that I can go and like bring to an investor. It's also coming up with these different like snappy taglines, picking the best for that as well. Reach new heights, no flaws required. I like how it's just gone with your idea, the flawless elevator, right? You're bang on the money. We even have a product photo, and we have a landing page too, right? Explore the future of vertical transportation. Imagine elevators with no floors. And I've actually given it my preferred color scheme here as well, and it's done a new version of my landing page, complete with the technology testimonials from John Doe, CEO. I never thought elevators could be this exciting. Great energy efficiency, right? Okay, there's one more. I know I'm running out of time, but I really want to I really want to show you this. I had a lot of fun making, I call this battle simulator, right? So earlier on, I really wanted to know who would win in a fight. 1 trillion lions. 1 trillion lions or the sun. And of course, it decided that the sun would win. And it's even created like a commentary.
In a spectacle of unimaginable scale, 1 trillion lions gathered to challenge the might of the sun. These were not ordinary lions.
Okay, so what I want now is I want many suggestions, not just one from the keen beans, right? I want many suggestions of something that could potentially beat the sun in a battle, right? Have a think and shout it out in 3, 2, 1.
Black hole.
A black hole? We had another one? Death Star, black hole? What's that? Superwoman? Okay. I'm gonna go with black hole. Someone said you, right?
Yeah.
Who was it? You? Okay. In fact, could you come around here?
You're gonna put me in where am I going? Am I getting webcam?
So if we hook that up
This
there,
is just coughing toddler
and
versus
then-
nuclear bomb all over.
all right.
It was a meme from.
Okay, yeah, sure, right. Okay, great. So just come stand here. Come stand here. It looks strong, you know. Yeah. And now we're going to see. Just hold still. It needs. Oh, it's not going to get me in, is it? Oh dear. I think we may have confused this. This may go very wrong. Just stand firm. All right, and we're going to hit. There's your opponent, the black hole. And let's see the winner. What? The winner is. No, I need to hit.
In a cosmic showdown, a black hole and a human named Hugh clashed. Black hole, a force of gravity, tried to crush Hugh's spirit, but Hugh stood firm. He charged at the singularity.
I did tell you to stand firm, didn't I? Right, okay.
Because I'm standing very firm.
So here's the thing. I really promise this is near the end, right? So, you know, how do we move, right? How do we move from chat to the canvas? You know, we still don't know. I hope if you take anything from this, I hope you can see how many possibilities there are, you know, especially when you look at bringing a canvas to a product, to a tool, right? But it seems really clear to me if we look at what's possible now, and we also look at the history of computing as we know it, right? This happens again and again and again. You know, we move from the text box to a canvas. You know, this is just what we do, right? This is how we communicate with each other. Has anyone used one of these before, right? You know, it's not text, it's imagery. When you're trying to interact with the real world, we use a canvas, you know? We've always done it, you know, with little arrows to point out things, to annotate things. That's how we work as human beings, you know, that's how we build things, right? We don't use a measly little chat box, you know. This is my favorite sign, right? This is, and maybe that says something about me as a person. Hey, but this is on the top of Cairngorm, this mountain in Scotland, right? This is what tells you, this is instructions with how to get off the ski lift. Because if you don't, go all the way back to the bottom, right? And it's not going to be paragraphs, is it? It's going to be a canvas to show you visually how something works, right? You know, we've done this. Leonardo da Vinci, right, used a canvas for his designs. We even did it back in the cave painting times, right? You know, I don't know about you, but this is how I communicate with the rest of my team. You know, we use drawings, diagrams, all sorts, whether it's something textual or not. You know, it helps to convey ideas. This is a talk I saw by someone called David Corshid. He did every slide was made with TLDraw, right, with these arrows all over the place to communicate his points. Like, if you want to try building things with canvases, I really recommend you go to tldraw.dev. There's like a quick start guide for how to use our library. It's really fast, I promise. And also, we are hiring. We are so if this looks fun at all, and you're enthusiastic about this stuff, even 1% is what I am, then please give that a check. There's some up there already. There's going to be more going up there throughout the course of this whole year. So thank you very much.